Your softness is not a weakness, it's your superpower. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred pause Black women have been waiting for. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French, and I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Recently, I had the honor of sitting down with Jacquelyn Morrison, a woman whose voice carries the kind of gentle power that changes lives. Jacquelyn is making the world a better place by reminding Black women that their softness, their faith, and their self love are not weaknesses, but sources of profound strength. Through her work and her words, she's creating space for healing, for wholeness, and for the kind of transformation that begins when you finally choose yourself. She's a force, a healer, a truth teller who refuses to let anyone believe they are less than beautifully made. And today, I want to share what Jacquelyn taught me, what she's teaching all of us about how to be soft in a world that taught us survival. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt safe enough to be soft? Not strong, not resilient, not the woman who holds it all together. Just nuts, throats, soft, vulnerable, human. If you can't remember, you're not alone. Because here's what nobody tells us: softness isn't a luxury. It's not something you earn after you've checked every box, paid every bill, and saved every person who needed you. Softness is your birthright. And somewhere along the way, we forgot that. We learned to survive instead. We learned to be strong, to be the backbone, to be the one who never breaks. And we wore that cape so long, we forgot we could take it off. But Jacquelyn Morrison reminded me of something I want to remind you of today. Your past does not define your future. Your pain does not determine your worth. And no one has the right to diminish the beauty of who you are. Let's start here with the truth that changed everything for Jacquelyn. And maybe, just maybe, it'll change everything for you too. Prioritize loving God and yourself first. I know it sounds simple, maybe even a little too simple, but stay with me, because for so many of us, especially those of us who face childhood trauma, family separation, loss, or abuse, self love feels like a foreign language. We've spent so much time trying to prove we're worthy, trying to earn love, trying to be enough, that we forgot we were already whole. Jacquelyn shared with me that true healing and self worth begin with a deep spiritual foundation and self love. That reconnecting with your faith and learning to love yourself can transform how you see yourself and others. And I felt that. Because when you've been told, directly or indirectly, that you're too much or not enough, when you've been abandoned or abused or overlooked, it's hard to believe you deserve softness. But you do. And it starts with God, it starts with faith. It starts with looking in the mirror and saying, I am beautifully made. I am worthy of love. I am enough just as I am. Let me tell you about Dawn Marie Pirani Brumfield. She's a leader who redefines strength by integrating her Blackness, her womanhood, and her authenticity into her professional and personal life. She encountered systemic inequities in healthcare and professional spaces, particularly affecting Black women, the kind of inequities that make you question whether your voice matters, whether your presence is valued, whether your brilliance will ever be seen. But instead of shrinking, instead of conforming, she chose authenticity. She chose vulnerability. She committed to lifelong learning, led with empathy, mentored emerging Black nurse leaders, and advocated for diversity in leadership. And you know what happened? She influenced national discussions on maternal health equity. She improved protocols for underserved populations. She inspired a new generation of nurse researchers and leaders, leaving a lasting legacy in healthcare advocacy. Her work has improved outcomes for Black mothers and professionals, showing that embracing your identity and advocating for yourself and others can drive systemic change. Dawn Marie didn't wait for permission to be herself. She didn't wait for the world to make space for her. She made space for herself. And in doing so, she made space for all of us. That's what happens when you prioritize loving God and yourself first. You stop shrinking, you stop apologizing, you stop waiting for someone else to validate your worth. You step into your power. Now, let's talk about the second thing. Jacquelyn wants you to remember your past does not define your future. I'll say it again. Your past does not define your future. Even if you have endured pain, abuse, or feelings of abandonment, you can rise above those circumstances. Through faith, self reflection, and support, you can reclaim your self esteem and step into your power as a beautifully made individual. I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what happened to me. You don't know how deep the wounds go. And you're right. I don't know your specific story, but I know this: pain is real, trauma is real, and healing is real too. Let me tell you about Shelly Bell. She's a Black woman entrepreneur who founded Walker's Legacy to address the lack of representation, mentorship, and business education for Black women professionals. She faced systemic bias, limited access to funding, and exclusion from traditional business networks. The kind of exclusion that whispers, you don't belong here. The kind of bias that makes you work twice as hard for half the recognition. The kind of barriers that would make most people give up. But Shelley didn't give up. She could have accepted the status quo. She could have said, this is just how it is. But she didn't. Instead, Shelley built a community that prioritized vulnerability, support, and shared storytelling. She created programming and networking opportunities tailored to Black women. And Walker's Legacy elevated the visibility and success of Black women in business, fostering a robust network of women supporting one another. Frustrated by the barriers she and others faced, Shelley chose to act rather than accept. She built a movement based on collective empowerment. The organization has inspired similar efforts nationwide with targeted programming and educational events. Walker's Legacy has shifted the narrative around Black women in business, encouraging entrepreneurship from a place of possibility and support, not just survival. Shelley's past could have defined her: the barriers, the bias, the exclusion, but she refused to let it. She chose to create something new, something better, something that would lift others up. And that's what I want you to hear today. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you choose to do next. And here's the third thing Jacquelyn wants you to remember: no one has the right to diminish your worth. As Black women, it is essential to reject any relationship or environment that is abusive or devalues you. Embrace the truth that you are worthy of love, respect, and safety, and that your softness is a source of strength, not a weakness. Let me say that one more time. Your softness is a source of strength, not a weakness. We've been taught to be strong, to be resilient, to be unbreakable. And yes, we are all of those things, but we are also allowed to be soft. We are allowed to cry. We are allowed to rest. We are allowed to say no. We are allowed to walk away from anything and anyone that makes us feel less than. Let me tell you about Melody Madar. At just 24 years old, she co founded Les Claroche, a media outlet dedicated to amplifying the voices of women, especially Black women, who have been overlooked or underestimated. She entered a competitive media landscape dominated by majority narratives, where diverse voices were often ignored, where the stories that mattered most were drowned out by the stories that sold best, where visibility felt like a privilege reserved for a select few. But Melody focused on celebrating women's achievements and resilience, building a platform that provided visibility and support. Les Claros became a respected outlet, reaching thousands and providing a stage for Black professionals and entrepreneurs. Melody's journey was marked by self doubt and societal barriers, but she chose to create space for herself and others to be seen and heard. The outlet's growth and influence reflect her commitment to self worth and community upliftment. By empowering others to share their stories, Melody helped redefine what success and self love look like for Black women in media and business. Melody didn't wait for someone to give her permission to be seen. She didn't wait for someone to validate her voice. She created her own platform. She made her own space. And in doing so, she made space for others. That's what happens when you refuse to let anyone diminish your worth. You stop waiting, you stop shrinking, you stop apologizing for taking up space. You step into your softness and you let it be your superpower. So here's what I need you to understand: these women, Dawn Marie, Shelley, Melody, they didn't wait for the world to change. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for someone to tell them they were enough. They decided, they chose, they acted. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. I'm asking you to reflect on your own self worth and spiritual foundation. I'm asking you to challenge any relationship or environment that makes you feel less than. I'm asking you to take one bold step toward prioritizing your own healing, whether that's seeking support, setting a new boundary, or affirming your value out loud, because you are worthy, you are enough, you are beautifully made. And your softness is not a weakness, it's your superpower. Jacquelyn Morrison reminded me of that, and I'm reminding you. So take off the cape, put down the weight, and step into your soft girl era without guilt, without apology, and without explanation, because you deserve it. And the world needs you, soft and whole and free. But here's the thing, this isn't just about you feeling better. This isn't just about you resting more or saying no more often. This is about transformation. This is about disruption. This is about changing the narrative for every Black woman who comes after you. When you choose softness, you're not just healing yourself, you're healing generations. You're breaking cycles. You're rewriting the script that said you had to be strong to survive. And that's revolutionary. So I'm not asking you to just feel inspired today. I'm asking you to act. I'm asking you to choose. I'm asking you to disrupt. Go home and look in the mirror. Say out loud, I am beautifully made. I am worthy of love. I am enough. Call that friend who always makes you feel small and set a boundary. Write that email you've been putting off because you were afraid of what people would think. Book that therapy appointment. Take that day off. Say no without explanation. Do one thing today that prioritizes your healing, one thing that honors your softness, one thing that says, I matter, because you do. And when you do that, when you choose yourself, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the world. So go, be soft, be powerful, be free. And remember, your softness is not a weakness, it's your superpower.